Hello, hello. Welcome back to the In Between podcast. I'm your host, Elizabeth Cheney. Oh, yes, I am back. I am so sorry about last week, y'all. I'll get into my reasoning. I have a reason, and I'm taking care of my needs. But yeah, I kind of dipped out last week, left you hanging, but that's okay. We are here, and I won't abandon you again, I promise. At least I'll give you a heads up. I mean, I did post it on my stories. But anywho, first off, it's apparently very cold right now. I have not stepped outside my apartment at all today. I have not. I think I'm bragging. I'm not quite sure there. But apparently it got colder as the day went on. So hopefully you've all brought in your pets, your dogs, your outdoor cats, lizards. I don't think lizards are outdoor, but you know what I mean? But yeah, so really cold. Apparently school was closed, and again, I somewhat live under a rock, even though I live in the middle of the city of Atlanta. So I don't know if it snowed in North Georgia or whatever, but I did see a lot of people on the Instagrams complaining about school being closed or making fun of how Georgians react to the cold weather. And I just want to say, in defense of all the Georgians that get all the crap for, becoming completely unglued at the mention of ice, snow, whatever, all of the above. It was not that long ago. I mean, I think it was like 10 years ago, so it actually was that long ago. But it was not that long ago, wink, wink. We had that massive snowstorm. My uncle actually got stuck on 285 for like 25 hours. At least that's what I was told. So for my family hearing this, if that's not correct, then somebody lied to me. But let's just go with the story and assume that it was 25 hours. Yeah, the city was not okay. Shut down. People were stranded, abandoned for like hours, days. It was not all right. So I think that just kind of gave everybody a little bit of a PTSD. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's why we all freak out at the mention of. So for all y'all who especially are not local to Atlanta and Georgia, the reason we come unglued is because, well, we don't have the what's the word I'm looking for? We don't have the tools, and I'm not going to lie, the means and knowledge necessary to survive how to drive in the snow. Chains on the wheels, honestly, I still don't even get that concept. So that's just what it is. It's just what it is. So give us some slack. We're out here freezing, and dare we not get stuck in some ice. Okay. So where have I been? All right. Where was I last week? So as you may know, as you should know, if you've been listening, I hosted a vision board party. Not this past weekend, but the weekend before. It was so exciting. It was a great turnout. I want to stop and say shout out to my girlfriend, Isha. She helped me plan this. She helped me reserve the space. It was like her clubhouse. She helped me set everything up. She let me roll ideas off of her. I harassed her leading up to all this. Not harassed, but just like blew her phone up. Like, I have this idea. What do you think about this? And she was always down, always into it, always offering her advice. I just want to say I could not have done this without her. And honestly, next time I do this, I think I want 15 more people to help me. I mean, maybe I'm exaggerating. Maybe I'm not. But I'm not going to say I'm not an event planner because girl did it. Your girl did this event, all right? Planned it, pulled it off, hell yeah. But I am not an event planner, as in this is my forte. This is my cup of tea. No, events, I'd love to host them, but I do not want to be the entire machine of execution, right? I'd rather outsource, hire, or just like beg my friends to help me, like barter. Be like, all right, hey, I'm trying to think, like, what skills could I barter? I will record for you. Yeah, not sure how far I'll get with that. I'll get you in free to my vision board party. But anyways, yeah, very proud of myself. So I'm not going to say I'm not an event planner because your girl pulled it off. However, I know my limitations, and event planning is definitely one of them. My wedding was not fun to plan. I did not enjoy any... I'm not going to say all. I'll say most of all the planning of that, although I did love the people that I worked with. My vendors were great. But yes, shout out to Isha for being my partner and right hand for the whole experience. She recorded me, my speech, toasting. It was great. But it was a great turnout, and everyone got so into it. I felt like I was walking around and I was like, I feel like a kindergarten teacher because I literally had my hands behind my back. I'm like standing up. Like I barely sat. honestly, y'all, I didn't even finish my vision board. So still have to do that actually. It's like 3/4 of the way done, 3/4 of the way done. So whoops. But anyways, being the host, had to be on. I'm walking around, hands behind my back, like a teacher, like Miss Fritzl from the Magic School Bus. And I'm just like, oh, what's your vision board? I mean, literally verbatim. I went to everybody and I was like, okay, so explain to me what's going on here. What's your vision board? What do you want? And I'm being funny and like making fun of myself, but like I was so into it because I wanted to know. I think it's cool. And hearing everyone explain like their choices, why they did this, it just, I don't know. It was so cool. So cheers to 2024. We are going to make these things happen for ourselves. Booyah. Oh, but anyways, back to what was the question? Oh yeah, where were you last week? Vision board was great success. So remember how I said event planning is not my forte? Well, this whole thing wiped me out. Like, talk about hitting a wall. Like, I hit like 15 walls, maybe even some more walls, but I was so depleted. I don't even like I couldn't even take count anymore. Like, yeah, lots of walls. From running around Friday, like Friday the day before was just crazy, going to the store, trying to get food, this, that, print this, do that, go this, go get this table, do that. Then Saturday, getting up early, getting dressed, looking cute, because you know I look cute. But okay, I'll slow down. Woke up early Saturday, had to get cute, you know, had to look cute. Got dressed up, whatever, had to get to the clubhouse early, pick up ice on the way there, which I totally overestimated what carrying 4 bags of ice was going to look like. And here I was looking all so cute, my boots and outfit looking at like literally 8 a.m., 8:30 a.m. And I'm like, oh, I'll just grab some ice. I don't need a buggy. Oh my God. Yeah. And I'm just too stubborn. And the woman was like, do you need a buggy? And I was like, yes, but I can't afford to wait. I've got to go. I have 2 hours to get this shit together. So yeah, I hobbled along outside carrying 4 bags of ice, looking so dressed up, but looking like a psycho hobbling, like trying to get to my car and not like, I don't know, fall over and drop all this ice. Get there, setting up, Isha's there, boom. Now I can finally kind of start to calm down, but honestly, there's so much to do. I'm not that calm. Boom, boom, boom. Put this out. Do that. Do that. Okay, it's raining. That's okay. I made these signs for arrows. Well, raining. The signs and the tape, they're not sticking to anything. No material, no substance will let the tape stick. So all that was a bust. That's okay, though. I put really good instructions in the email. So you get my point. I had to make all this stuff, do all these things. It was like me for most of it. Then I'm the host. I'm on the speech. I'm walking around. Poof. Man. Whew. I underestimated how I was going to feel after that. Talk about being wiped. Like, at one point at the end, I felt like I was like watching myself in third person. Like everything was in slow motion and then everything was also in fast forward. And I asked my therapist, I said, what was that about? Because I kind of like, it's not that I blacked out, like where you have no memory of anything. I remember everything, but it's like in the moment I was not remembering. Yeah, I know that sounds very bizarre, but and she told me that I was disassociating. It can come from PTSD, I guess anxiety. I don't know, but essentially the too long didn't read version was I was overstimulated to a T. And woke up Sunday with crippling anxiety. That was great. Love that. Good times. Love when that happens. And I couldn't shake it Monday. And I was still kind of feeling it Tuesday. And I was also exhausted. And then come Wednesday, I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to have to sit this week off. Like I literally, you know what? I took a sick day. I took a sick day. That's where I was last week. I took a sick week. But I say all that. The vision board party was amazing. And I cannot wait to do it again because we will. So many people reached out and were like, I want to come. And I'm like, oh yeah, we're going to do it bigger, better, greater. Yes, of course. Loved it. But I had to rest. And, you know, also, I'm this close to getting my website finished. And I had a bunch of things I needed to get together to give to the person my friend Kira, who is designing the website. And I was like, all right, I have this much energy right now. I am still pretty empty. All batteries are empty. We are not charged. It's going to be a minute. She's rest. However, I know I needed to get this other stuff done for the website. And I was like, all right, weigh my pros and cons. I'm exhausted, so I'm only going like 70% right now. I need to do this thing. But if I try to do an episode and fit all of it in, I'm just probably going to stress myself out more. Therefore, the episode probably won't be as good as I wanted to. So this is a very long-winded way of me saying I'm sorry. This is what I was doing. The vision board party was awesome, and your girl just needed to rest. So it was a sick week, right? Right. All right, so website, though. On that note, because I took the time for myself, rested and pressured myself to do 2,000 million things when I could really only do apparently 3. I kid. I did get all the website stuff done. I wrote blogs. Not that I've never written anything like that. I mean, kind of writing sometimes my podcast show notes or things like that. Like that's blog-esque writing. But I've never actually written a blog, and I was trying to think of things that related to recent episodes, so it's also like I could kind of keep them together. But I needed to provide some content before I launch my website, which hopefully by the end of the month I will. Look on social media for announcements. We will get there. So I'm writing, and I'm like, okay, I think this works. So I got 2 blogs done. She loved them. She said they were great, cool. Not that they're like anything robust or super detailed and layered, but it's your simple, I was about to give it away, but I should wait so you guys can go check out the website and read it there. Side note, ADHD insert. I wonder if I should do like a website launch bingo and offer a prize. That could be enticing. Ooh, would you guys like that? I don't know what the prize would be. Maybe it's a vision board kit. Hey, that's not a bad idea. I mean, I don't know. Well, might stew on that. Anyways, back to what I was saying. I'm getting all these things done. Blog posts, getting your code for this, getting the player, like the podcast RSS feed player, this, blah, 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 getting it all connected. And the weekend after, so this past weekend, I was not going to do anything. I was making 0 plans because I was go too much. Should have asked for some help. That's okay. Lessons learned. It was still a great event, but I died afterward, for sure. And then Sunday paid the consequences of my actions of, just laying in the fetal position, like thinking, okay, this is how I die. I have extreme anxiety and I'm just gonna sit here with it all day. That's just how it's looking. That was my journey Sunday. That was my journey. And you know what? That is okay. So this past weekend, I was like, all right, I'm gonna get so much done. I'm blocking out the whole weekend. I'm not doing anything. I'm not committing to anything. I am going to do that thing where you like pack all your stuff, your laptop, your notebook, you bring your water bottle and you go to a coffee shop and you sit down and you work. Because, I've said this before, I live in this little big apartment. We have a lot of stuff. It's not that it's like, a hoarder thing. No, it's just like sometimes it feels a little cluttered because you got to get inventive with cabinets and space and storage. So I also thought, all right, with my ADHD and focus and all the things that I need to do, because I had to still do the financial podcast outline, I was like, all right, it's time to get my ducks in a row. You know what I mean? Well, I'll give myself grace. I've been grieving the loss of my soul dog. So side note, there's that. But I'm motivated. I'm finding that footing. I'm still very sad. I have more on that in a sec, but I am like, all right, I want to make things happen because it makes me feel good and it feels good to accomplish things, but I also know I can't do everything all at once. So I got to work with this bandwidth that I have. So I'm like pumped, ready to go, got my shit packed, walking, bebop into the coffee shop. It's closed randomly. It should be open. So I'm not dumb. Like, I'm not an idiot. I knew it would be open, but it was not open. And I just sat there. And I'm like, wow, the one time I actually did the thing that I said I was going to do. Because, how many times have we said, oh, I should go do this. I'm going to do that. And then we never do it. I actually did it. Like, I did it. Thank God it was walking distance or else I would have felt really silly. And I was just like, well, what do I do here? Do I walk to another one? Because now everything just seems extremely daunting. Like, oh, now I got to go walk to another near walking distance coffee shop. Like, I was exhausted getting the willpower to go in the first place. And then to, boom, feel like the bridge has been cut between you and your end destination. I was just like, well, just bury me here. I'll just lay here. I'll just lay here in this rain. So I call Stan. He's like, I guess you can come back. And I'm like, oh, back to the cluttered office. So I put everything down. I'm like, all right, I have two options here. I can sit here and try to do all this shit and get distracted like I always do. Or I could organize this office, organize it the way that I want it, like where I don't feel cluttered, where I don't need to go to the coffee shop. I can stay here and do stuff. I'll have all day Sunday, so why not? That's what she did. I didn't know I could organize this place any more than I did, but ooh, let me tell you, I proved myself wrong. It feels great. I even shifted how I do my laptop and like where my monitors are and all that kind of stuff. And it feels so good. Oh, man. I don't know anything about feng shui, but there is got to be some truth to it because my environment definitely plays into my mood and anxiety. That's for sure. So did all that. And I can say I woke up Sunday and I got so much done. I got the outline done, literally already have that episode recording scheduled. I got a bunch of stuff done for the website. I did a bunch of other crap that I've been putting off, budget stuff, called T-Mobile, which, oh God, who wants to call like a service provider over anything, especially over something complicated? And you're just like, oh my God, it's like the fourth time I've called. So the odds of you getting this right are not looking good in my favor. So you're already stressed out thinking, ugh, is this going to get me anywhere? I'm going to be chasing my tail and be calling it back again tomorrow. Thankfully, I didn't have to. The chick who helped me, shout out to Jasmine at T-Mobile, she was solid and she got all my shit squared away. She got all my cross wires uncrossed and just everything that was supposed to be linear is now linear and nothing is intersecting. It's great. It's smooth sailing. So I've been doing so much. And again, we are 18 minutes into this recording and I'm not going to lie. You may not have realized it, but I'm still answering the question, where have I been? So if you're still here with me, well, welcome. I love you. You can keep up. But jokes aside, truth of the matter, I had to rest. And then I just got a bunch of shit done. And I feel great. Getting back in my habits, getting back in my routines. And that sounds so cool. And like, damn, she's got her shit together. Let's be real, like we all know I didn't really have a habit or routine to begin with. So when we say getting back on it, she's still going to bed at 12:30 because her ass cannot seem to get in bed before then. So we're baby stepping, but we're baby stepping versus just completely being immobilized. So that's good. That to me is progress. Progress. All right. So on another note, what else have I been up to? I've been reading more, trying to finish this Crescent City book for any of my Sarah J. Maas fans out there. ACOTAR. Anybody? Yes, nerd alert. That's my thing. I also watched Saltburn. So I said earlier, I kind of live under a rock. I do in a way, like I am trendy. I am with the trends, but like I'm also not. Like I should probably spend more time on social media, which is like the complete opposite of what you hear anybody and everybody say. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing that I'm saying this, but I should probably be more on social media, see more content for especially like what I'm trying to do here, like with the in-between and all this kind of this stuff. But I miss out on trends very quickly on TikTok. Like, gosh, sometimes those trends are like a day, I feel like. But rambling aside, I am not always the first person to watch the hot topic, the hot thing, the hot whatever. So if you haven't seen Saltburn, chances are you've heard about it or you've seen it marketed on your Amazon Fire Stick because it's an Amazon original. But that little cutie pie, I say little with like a wink, that little cutie pie from Euphoria, what's his name? Jacob Elordi or something like that. He stars in it. And then this guy, oh God, what's his name? Barry something? I don't know, but he was in Dunkirk and another movie. I don't know. I'm doing a really bad job of telling you this. But also has the woman from Gone Girl, Rosamund Pike. Love her. Anyways, I'm saying all this just to let you know that your girl, who is typically late to the party on trends, watched Saltburn. Yes, I watched something that was trending, and I watched it in the time frame to which it is still trending. So that's great. All right. Which of you all have seen this movie? I'll tell you the good. Visually, the movie is very, very beautiful. Every shot is almost like a painting. Like the colors are they're bold. They have depth. The scenes are stunning. The cinematic scenes are just like the transitions. the shots of the people, the angles, the colors. Yeah, it's great. It's beautiful. The plot. Now, I will say this before I get into my feelings about this, but I get really into movies, okay? And I like to know why a character is driven to do a certain thing, okay? Whatever. Does that make me weird, nerd? I don't know. Or maybe everybody does that and I should just stop judging myself. But not even like really meaning to. I just really get into it. And certain things that played out in the end of the movie, sure, you get why a certain character does these certain things. But I want to know, like, but was he always like that? Because I don't think that was necessarily the case. Like, I had to Google after the movie. I was like, what was the themes of Saltburn? Okay, greed, obsession, guilt, revenge. And I'm just like, okay, but most of these all happened after the certain part. So, like, how do we get to the first part? They don't talk about that. They don't talk about why one character lied and did all this and did this and did that. So I don't know. Hopefully I don't think I spoiled it, but the plot was like just a little weird. And I think that was the point, but I don't mind weird, but just like give me like a little bit more connection between the tethers. I think the reason though that movie is just absolutely blowing up everywhere on social media, besides the fact that Jacob Elordi is honestly like, he's not human. He is a very beautiful looking human being, allegedly human being. I don't know what else he could be other than a god. But yeah, he was beautiful. He was so dreamy. He was like a Hollister, Abercrombie and Fitch model in that movie. You got to watch it to see it, but also don't watch it because it's weird. But rambling Jacob Elordi daydreaming aside, I mean, there were several scenes, but there was like 3 or 4 scenes that were just so disturbing. And I don't mean disturbing like this movie is like a thriller or like scary, but disturbing just like, you know, fucked up and just, and then there's like this one scene in particular. And if you've heard anything about Saltburn with the grave scene, you know. If you know, you know. Okay, I warned my whole team. They're like, what'd you do this weekend? I was like, I watched Saltburn. And they're like, oh, I remember to watch it. I was like, no, do not watch it. If you watch it, it's your own risk. Some of them watched it. Bless your heart. I hope you're not scarred for life. But this graveyard scene is just, you know, it's a little soft porn, a little bit soft porn, which is fine. Silly. I just called that scene silly. And if you've seen that, you're now judging me. I'm judging myself. It's a little ridiculous. We'll leave it like that. I should probably just stop here. Because like, I don't think I can talk about it on the pod without giving it away. And I don't want to give a spoiler away, but very weird sexual act, grave scene. I'll leave it there. The whole time I'm watching it, I'm just like, WTF. And then all I can think about is, imagine filming that scene. Like you're doing this and there's like a whole crew watching you. That's damn good acting when you think about it in context. So, you know, should you watch Saltburn? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Is my life better from watching it? No. However, I can appreciate that I did watch something as such a pop culture phenomenon. So if I would have to describe Saltburn, I would say it was a hodgepodge of White Lotus and Cruel Intentions. I think that is a very fair assessment. And I've only watched half of White Lotus. Not because I didn't like it, but because, well, I'm ADD and it's really hard for me to pay attention to anything these days. I also finished Yellowstone. You know, I loved it. I did love it. Did a lot of insane things, a lot of ridiculous things, a lot of how many things can happen in one family. There were some outlandish plot lines, but overall, I still love it. John Dutton. I will hit that. I'll hit that nail on the head again. But I am very excited that I now get one more season or like part B of season 5, whatever I don't know how they're doing it, but I'm excited for more of it. Haven't watched the prequel shows, but Yellowstone was great. So if you have any suggestions on shows that you think I might like that might hold my attention, I'm all ears. I am all ears. So talking about that sad stuff, that sad thing, that, oh, you know, she's still sad comment earlier. Since we last talked, I did go to a pet loss. Wait, I wrote this down because it was like a mouthful. Where is it? A pet loss grief support group. Sorry, that's just like a lot of words and it makes sense, but it also like does not roll off the tongue well. Pet loss grief support group. It was good. It was really small. It was like me and one other girl with, in addition to the therapist. And one of the things that I really took out of it was the therapist like suggested we journal. She said, especially me, since this is also recent, because the emotions are fresh, and it's one thing that she regrets not doing, because once she started to do that, it was like a year and a half after she'd lost her pup. So I have been journaling more, which was also something that I wanted to kind of build into a routine and get better habit with anyways. So it's been extremely emotional, as you can imagine, heartbreaking. So if you randomly see me start posting really sweet videos or pictures of me and Luna, just know that she's going through it. But the journaling is actually very helpful, and it's just crazy. Like, it's just, grief is just, everyone just keeps saying it's nonlinear. And it's true. One moment you feel fine. The next moment you are so sad, you are wailing, crying. One moment you're happy and you aren't even thinking about the fact that you just lost your dog. And then next moment you're like, wow, as more time passes, I'm like getting sadder. It's just, it's a very weird feeling. And for anyone who's been through it, you know, and I don't even just mean losing a pet, like losing a parent, losing a sibling, losing a friend, losing anyone that's close to you, that means something to you. And there's all different types of grief. There's literally no one size fits all. Like, I think grief is very personal and completely different. But in my journaling, it helped me kind of process a few things. And I was like pouring so much of myself into that vision board party. Part of it's because, well, I wanted to pull it off and I wanted to be successful. And then, part of it was, I wanted to distract myself. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But because of everything I mentioned earlier, with like pushing myself too far, mentally, emotionally, my bandwidth, I didn't really leave any room in my cup for my grief either. So I was just completely like depleted. And then I feel those negative emotions, they seep in when you're at your worst or like when you're at your weakest, and it just festered and made me really sad. And after some processing, journaling, whatever, thinking it through, I was like, I'm still sad. And yeah, duh, but like, I am still sad. I think I needed to acknowledge that within myself. It's okay. I'm going to get through it. I'm getting through it. But I needed to acknowledge that I'm still sad. Talking to you right now, I'm not crying. I'm good, but I'm sad. Just because I'm not crying or externally showing some level of sadness, it's still there. And for some reason, I was like denying that within myself. And I did it for so long, long being days, whatever. And then I'd get hit with this guilt that, how are you not sad? Like, are you processing this? Like, you're so fine. You're doing all this stuff. And I'm sure there's like some intrusive thoughts, anxiety playing a part in all this. But the reason I'm saying all of this is I had to acknowledge that I am still sad and give myself that peace that it's okay. I'm not 100%. Maybe I'm like 70%, maybe 65 on a bad day, maybe 55 on a really bad day. But I'm still not quite there. That's okay. Take the time that I need, move at the speed in which I need to do. And this also kind of plays into like why I didn't do an episode last week. And look at what I told you. Like, I ended up doing a lot and getting so much done. Like, I scratched off so much of my to-do list. Talk about a dopamine release. Dear God. That is a drug. Scratching off your to-do list, I swear to God, that is a crack I will subscribe to. But anyways, I'm trying to take literal inventory of my needs. And I think acknowledging my grief and where I'm at with that is part of that. And that's okay. So I don't know who needed to hear this. I don't know how you can interpret that into your own means, but it's okay. Whatever you're going through, it's okay. If you're not 100%, it's okay. If you do not feel a certain way about certain things, it's okay where you are in your journey. No one's keeping up but you, truly, seriously, no one. No one is keeping up but you. Why don't I take a break? So, yeah, she's getting it. She's gotten it. She's bebopping, she's bopping, beeping, she's getting all of her shit together, her habits, her routines. We're still working on the sleep. Yeah, that is my own fault. I'm just gonna be honest with that, but that's okay. That's okay. I am also getting back into like my fitness routine, which is great. I just moving my body because, losing Loon, we don't really walk anywhere as much as we did with her. And I mean, like, we walk maybe twice a week now. We're trying to get walk more, but basically I'm saying is like, I don't move my body like I used to. And I can tell I miss that. Like your body needs that, right? Plus, it's a good way to burn off stress and whatever. So I'm getting back in my fitness routine, moving my body, easing into it, trying to give myself grace and be kinder to myself, like not beat myself up, because dear me, it is amazing how quick you lose your muscles and your exertion levels. Like I just feel like I've never done a push-up in my entire life, even on my knees. So that's fun. A squat, God, you'd think I've never sat down in my life, but she's making it. She's making it. Is it a mountain? Absolutely. But she's making it. She's not giving up. My snacking's not as bad, so that's good. I think maybe we're kind of getting out of the depressive, like eat my feelings. I'm still a sucker for gummies. I literally had a handful of gummy bears before I started this episode, so we're not quite out of the woods yet, but that's okay. We're getting there. Progress, baby steps. We're baby stepping, remember? The last thing I'll say is the last update I have, because I feel like I've been kind of like all over the place. In between, hi, how are you? This is where I've been the past 2 weeks. I had my birth chart read last night. I don't know if you're into astrology, anybody. It's fascinating. I don't want to get into all of it with you right now because one, I've had you for plenty of time now. But two, I think I'm going to do an episode in the near future with this person who read my chart. Don't know her. I was connected to her through the company the service that provided her readings. But I just want to say this. It is insane to me that all of the things that I dream about, I want, the goals I have for myself, but also on the flip side of that, the things that I'm insecure about, the inner narratives, the intrusive thoughts that aren't as healthy as, that negative self-talk, so to speak. This stranger is telling me just based on my birth chart. And I'm just sitting there thinking like, wow, this is wild. I know that could easily sway into a conversation of fate and will and do you have choice, and that will save that for an astrology talk. So I'm hopefully going to play my cards right and get her on. But if you're into birth charts, let me know, like astrology or anything like that, because I would love to talk your ear off about it. Very fascinating. Very fascinating. Taught me a lot about myself, so that's cool. But anyways, man, I just feel like I was going a mile a minute. I'm pretty certain I was going a mile a minute earlier at the very beginning of the episode, but that's okay. We made it. The hamster wheel is slowing down. But I am glad to be back. I missed you all. Hope you missed me. 2024. Whew. This is going to be a good year. I can feel it. Well, I know everyone at the vision board can. I know you're all feeling it because your vision boards were magnificent. But everyone else, this is going to be a good year. All right? Let's channel that energy and let's make magic happen, because that's how we do it. Remember the vision boards? It's not that they're magic. The magic starts with you. Yes, I'm mocking myself, but I still mean it. I still mean what I said. I said what I mean what I say. Right? Oh, yeah. But on that note, I will see you next week. And yes, I will see you next week. I'm not going to just Irish goodbye you like I did last, I promise. Because your girl's getting her shit together. Yeah, because she is rocking and rolling. On that note, I'm just going to dip and go get some dinner. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. I love you. Love you, mean it. And hey, if you're not doing so already, follow me on Instagram at ElizabethCheney_, the podcast Instagram at in.betweenpod. You can follow me there for live updates and all of those things, but also because I'm going to be announcing the website soon, and maybe I'll play a little game, a little giveaway to go with it. So don't you want to be a part of that? I thought so. And then you can follow me on YouTube, because this episode will be on YouTube at the In Between Podcast, and on TikTok, the In Between Podcast. So there we go. She did it. That is all I have for you for today. So until next week, I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Stay warm. I almost said stay cold, but that's not what I meant. Stay warm, stay bundled up, keep your pups and your kids inside, and make good choices. And don't make fun of us Georgians when it ices, because, well, we just can't deal. On that note, I'm your host, Elizabeth, and I will see you next week. Bye.